Morning, Alice. Morning, Jackie.
Hey, how are ya?
I'm good. I am just tying us into Facebook.
Alrighty.
So let's get that piece done. How are you guys doing? Feeling good?
Yeah, well, I am. I shouldn't say we. How are you, Alice?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, great. You ready to do this?
I am.
Hopefully.
Awesome.
Much light now? Yep.
All right, so we're connecting to Facebook. That's the beauty of this. We can just, oh, I love your background. So beautiful.
Thank you. That's one of my happy places.
Yes, it's very nice.
There. Hard to find the right. I need to get one of those circle. Do you have one?
Mm-hmm. Oh, the light?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't have one, but where my light is in the office, it's like,
oh, perfect,
in the right spot. So it's like right here.
I'm gonna try this.
So,
see if that won't help. There, that's better. Did you get out bike riding yesterday, Alice?
No, my husband did some work in the morning outdoors and he just wasn't into it. And I don't ride anything but the tandem right now, so.
So you guys know I have gotten even more weird than ever before. Apparently I was always reasonably weird, but it got worse. So
I think weird is normal, and anyone who thinks they're normal is
I know there is really no objective normal. So so I pulled a card for us for our little meeting today, and it says that which is like unto itself is drawn. And I think it's just reminding us to kind of keep staying positive, because when we're positive, then more positive things happen to us. So I feel like that's okay. That's a good card for us to start our day with. What do you guys think?
I love it. It's awesome. I'm positively positive about it.
I'm positive. I know, right?
It's awesome.
Right. I think we can wait just a few minutes for people to join in. So I'm gonna actually. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for Ladies Power Lunch Coffee Break. I'm Dr. Davia Shepherd. I am the Chief Happiness Officer over here at Ladies Power Lunch, and we've been hosting.
She actually tried to show me how to do the bangs.
Let's see. Oh, I think we have a little bit of feedback. So
the recording here. So hang on, guys. Here we go. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for Ladies Power Lunch Coffee Break.
Guys, hang on one sec. I'm having some feedback. So hang on a sec. Let me just see if I can make that go away. Okay. Okay, can you all hear me now?
We can.
Okay, and it doesn't sound like 100 different people talking in the room at the same time. Great. Okie dokes. So like I said, I'm Dr. Davia Shepherd. I host Ladies Power Lunch. I like to call myself the Chief Happiness Officer of our nice little group here. And today I'm inviting us to have some, what I'm considering to be a necessary but uncomfortable conversation. And this is, of course, surrounding some of the things that we have to confront. There is no if, but, or maybe about it. But it's just a matter of whether we take care of things ahead of time to make sure that things run smoothly, or whether we ignore it and then things don't run smoothly. So I have some experts here with us, members of our group that you all know, love, and trust. I have Alice Sawyer, who is an estate attorney, and she's going to be talking about wills and trusts, as well as some of the documentation that everybody should have. And I also have Jackie Baldwin, who is going to talk to us a little bit about retirement, which really and truly should be a happy subject, because
Absolutely.
it should be a wonderful time for all of us. I'm seeing Lorraine and Lisa on the Zoom call. So Lorraine and Lisa, I just want to say hi real quick. And if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself so everybody knows who you are and what you do.
I'll start, if that's okay, Lisa.
Sure.
Lorraine Sanborn, my business is Fabulous Begins at 50. And the products that I recommend and have been using personally for 6.5 years are from the Isogenics business, and all the products that can help people with weight loss, energy. I've been using the Healthy Aging program for, like I said, for 6 years. So I'm very happy, and I'm so glad to be here. And I have not met Alice, but I do know Jackie, so I'm interested in the information.
Cool. And Lisa, what made you decide to join us today? Why was this interesting for you?
Well, I knew that you would have Alice, and I love Alice. Now I know her for years. I trust what she has to say, and I'm just curious. I apologize. They're redoing the balconies at my building, so I'm sorry about that. I'll mute right after this.
Okay, fun. And Carlene, we can hear you, but we can't see you. So thank you so much for joining us. Okay, I am going to hand over to Alice and Jackie. And guys, I'm going to ask you both this wonderful question. I know you both feel very passionately about what you feel passionately about. And so I'm going to invite you. I'm going to start with Alice. I'm going to invite you to just share about who you are, what you do, and why you feel this is an important topic for us to be talking about today. Alice?
Okay. I've been doing what I do now for a little more than 10 years. I got to this point in a very circuitous manner. I got out of school with a bachelor's in 71. Bad year for jobs for new graduates. I majored in psychology. The jobs that would normally have gone to people in my circumstances were going to people with masters and experience willing to take a cut in pay just to have a job. So through a roundabout series of jobs, including a bank where I did 30-day mortgage accounts with a vice president, and was told that I could not join the head teller system because I wasn't a male. I went to insurance companies. I had issues with banks when I tried to get a mortgage, first-time mortgage owner for our house because we were fairly newly married. And they basically told me they couldn't count my salary because I was getting married and would have babies and would quit working. That didn't go over well. So eventually ended up in the insurance companies, started taking insurance courses, liked the intersection of law and decided to go to law school. Loved this tax classes, the business classes, and things like that, and decided what I was going to try to do was work at the insurance company out, who was very gracious with their raises and with reimbursing me for tuition. And I forgot to notice that in 1979, if there were any women in the law departments, the legal departments of the insurance companies, I didn't know who they were. They were all men. Needless to say, I wasn't invited to join an insurance company. But while in law school, my husband had started a business where we sold aluminum section picture frames around the country I did start a part-time practice. I couldn't do 2 new businesses at once, so I stopped practicing law for years. And then I saw that the school I had gone to, Western New England, was offering an advanced degree, an LLM in estate planning and elder law. I applied, I got in, I started doing estate planning in the middle of that, and lo and behold, here I am today. The upshot of it all is, for the most part, I've always worked for myself. My husband and I had distinct roles in the company, and that's the way things were. Basically, my life has been about my empowerment. And that's what really estate planning is all about. In a way, when you go through those steps, it's another form of empowering yourself. You're taking matters into your own hand. You're making decisions on who not only will get any asset you have, but who will wind down the details of your life. And all of that's very important. But the documents that are even more important than a will are the 2 you could use during your lifetime: power of attorney and advance directives, which includes an appointment of a healthcare representative. Because those you might use during your life, even on a temporary basis, because you are temporarily incapacitated and unable to do things, or just don't want to do them because you're ill. So that's it. This is doing these documents, if you haven't done them and if you haven't thought about it in this way, is a form of empowering yourself to take steps for the good of yourself, your family, your friends, etc. And this thought just flew out of my mind. When it comes back, maybe I'll mention it. But it's important to have these documents. So that's briefly Wyatt. And I guess part of the passion about it is I went through my mother's death, and my aunt became ill. She lived in Queens, New York. I took over her caregiving, and I learned a bit about why some of these documents are so important. And also I learned about working with an older person who can be, and always was, opinionated, stubborn, and very loving and meaningful in her own way. So I seem to have a pretty good rapport with older people when I'm working with them with these things. So I've talked enough for now. Jackie, take it away.
So Jackie, just share with the group, because I know many of us know you, but not everybody does. So just let us know who you are, what you do, and why you feel passionately about it.
Yes. First of all, I just want to second everything that Alice said. It is imperative, and we'll be going through that. But all my clients, I recommend have all those documents in place immediately. So I'm Jackie Baldwin. I'm a financial architect with B & Dell Financial Architects in South Windsor. And I advise women who are feeling financially unprepared for those big what-ifs in life, so that they can feel confident about knowing that they have solutions for weathering any kind of storm that comes their way. Why am I passionate about it? Well, I'm sure all of us have stories which drive us to become passionate about what we do, and I'm no different. While I have been in the financial services arena for over 34 years, I mistakenly relinquished my partnership in the management of our household finances when I got married. So unfortunately, that relinquishment of my power left me in a very vulnerable situation. I didn't realize how vulnerable until after we were going through the divorce process, and I realized how very, what a bad situation that we were now in. And I felt extremely vulnerable, and I vowed to never feel that way again. And I want to help other women also have that same empowerment, just as Alice was saying. It's so crucial. And so that's why I believe, that in order to, feel safe and secure, I want to really help people, guide them through that whole process, and education is key.
Awesome. So we are on a tight 30-minute schedule. So Alice, I want to dive right into any specific recommendations that you have. Let's just get right in there.
Yep, right in there. There are 4 documents I call basic documents. Everyone should have them. Doesn't matter how much you have in assets. because like I said, two of them you could use during your lifetime. A will. A will is important because you have the ability to direct where any assets go. If you truly have no assets, but you have children, you get to appoint guardians for them, for the person and for the estate. Also, if you truly, really believe you have no assets, you at least get to appoint the estate administrator, known as the executor or executrix, who will take care of terminating a lease if you have it, paying, seeing what to do about a house if you've got a mortgage on it, and all those little details of life that run through your life. You need a durable power of attorney, in which you appoint someone to assist you with finances if you ever should need that help. And then finally, you have advanced directives that include end-of-life care instructions, as well as the appointment of a healthcare representative. It does a couple of other things too, but I can get into that on an individual basis. I also do a HIPAA release so that if you need doctors to speak to someone, you've designated who should be spoken to and who should not. We don't list the who should nots, we list only the who should. But those are the 4 really important documents everyone should have. When you're finished with those, you have empowered yourself and your future beneficiaries and heirs with respect to how you want to live your life now, and also how you want to live your life after, so to speak, because you get to choose who gets what. A trust sometimes, if it's necessary, not always. So that's the brief part of it. I have some things I can send people if they want to email me and just put whatever I said in the thing, memos, please, or something, whatever.
Okay, awesome. Jackie, what about you? What kind of specific recommendations do you have?
So I just want to preface this with, I know I have clients come to me in all realms of knowledge of finances and in all conditions of finances. And so I want to just encourage each and every one of you, depending on where you're at, don't ever feel as though you need to wait. It's the old adage of, I've got to clean the house before the house cleaner, I have the person come in and clean the house so it looks a little bit better because I'm too embarrassed about whatever. Don't do that. Come see someone right away. The most important thing you can do is to find a financial advisor that you can be a partner with. That is, consider a financial advisor, your financial coach, who's going to help you identify your goals and then ensure that you attain those goals. And just like a life coach or a business coach helps hold you accountable and helps you moving forward, a good financial advisor who really acts like your coach is the one that's going to help you move those things forward. Just little baby steps at a time. It doesn't need to all be done at once. But the key is to start. And the best thing I can recommend for people to starting beyond finding someone that you can partner with, and 2 things that you can start with right today are, 1, start tracking your expenses and your income. Very, very important. And there are some apps such as Mint that you can load right on your phone and keep track, and they link to your bank accounts, your credit cards, all of those things. And it also links to TurboTax and to QuickBooks. So it's a really great tool to use and make it simpler. But you can't really track where you are financially if you don't know where the money is being spent. So that is really key. And then, once we get a grip on that, then we can try to start figuring out how we're going to make those goals happen. But that's really the key. That's the first piece.
Awesome. Thank you. I feel like it's easier to do it now than it probably ever has been, because like you said, there are apps out there that do all of this stuff. Like my Bank of America app links right into my QuickBooks, and it also gives me, every time I log in, there's a little graph. This is what your income, this is what you're spending. And sometimes it'll give me a nice little thumbs up, and sometimes it'll give me
I love it.
not so thumbs up, but it keeps me looking at it. So this is great information.
Yeah.
Alice,
I just wanted to add one other little piece, and that is something that you can start today is just make a commitment to start saving something, and whether that be in a retirement plan, or whether it be in your savings account, or whether you just keep an envelope in the top drawer of your dresser and you just make consistency and habit is what's going to build strong financial goals for yourself. And you'll see when you can start seeing tangible amounts building up, that really encourages it to take that next step. Just like with our health, right? We take one little step and we see some improvement. We're like, yes. So that's what we all need. That's my final. I'll stop talking now.
That's okay. That's why we're here, to listen to your wisdom, right? So I like all the things that you're saying, Jackie. And I was a few years ago introduced by actually by my brother-in-law to this book called Profit First. I don't know if many of you have read it, but it is on our Ladies Power Lunch reading list for 2020, 2021. And I have to say, some of the things that you're talking about are things that I actually learned through just reading this book. So that's really, really good information. Alice, I want to ask you, are there any pitfalls that you would recommend people avoid when it comes to planning for their future?
Well, the first thing is don't go to a relative who practices an area of law that does not include regular writing and drafting of these documents. You might be able to convince them to do it for you at no charge, but it may not be the best. Another pitfall that I want you to be aware of is there's books out there, there's seminars you can find, how to avoid probate. Well, I have news for you. In Connecticut, where I practice, yes, you can avoid probate. And in doing so, you put your money in a trust, but you do not avoid probate fees. You will still have to pay them. And avoiding probate may not be a good idea because there may be issues with people who would be your heirs or your beneficiaries, and probate court oversees the distribution of your assets, after payment of all bills, of course, to whom you want. And if there's going to be infighting, it's sometimes good to have a court behind you. But the big point is, don't put doing something off. Do it. Put it on your to-do list at the top. One of the first things you can do, and since a lot of people have done taxes recently, is gather all your personal and financial information. And when an attorney asks you what your assets are and what your debt is, they're not being nosy. They're looking to see whether or not a trust might be more appropriate in your case than a will. So go for it. My purpose here is to educate you. I have these 3 memos I can send you on what the different documents are, and I'll be glad to do you. Just follow the information, directions I put on the chat. And like I said, if you don't want to use me, because I'm not near you, let me know and I might be able to recommend another attorney I know in a different part of the state. My goal is to educate. I'd love to have some of you as clients or all of you, but that's not my goal. My goal is to educate. Go out there, empower yourself, get these documents done.
Jackie, what about you? Pitfalls?
So again, Alice and I, I work very closely with attorneys for this very purpose. So you're going to hear the same messages, which is the same thing. Do not procrastinate. And big, bold letters. Do it today. So important. And the big thing is that you want to make sure that you're mitigating your risks today. And a lot of times people think about those big risks of making sure you have homeowners insurance in case there's a fire for your, damage to your property. You make sure you have auto insurance in case you're in an accident. You have health insurance for those healthcare needs. What people tend to not realize is that loss of income to you or your family due to death or disability is almost more important than anything. COVID, I think, has hit home with that. We've had a series where the world has shut down. Many people have been left without an income source, and they did not have the savings to back them up. Same thing can happen if there's a death to an income earner in the household. or if you yourself become disabled and are unable to work. That can throw a big monkey wrench and throw all the plans that you have put in place totally out the window. And so I stress that you need to have those things in place today while you're planning for that retirement, so that you have successful retirement. And that's what I mean about weathering any storm. The other thing is, during this market volatility, so many people panic and they get nervous, and they have access now to an online, they can call up or they can go online to their retirement plan, and they make changes because they panic. It is very, very important. Remember, envision your financial advisor as your financial coach. So important. If you feel that you're getting nervous, call up that financial advisor and say, I'm nervous. What do we do here? Because if you have a solid plan in place that can weather any storm, if your long-term goals have not changed, then you should not be making these short-term moves in the market by getting in and out. You're only going to cause yourself long-term losses and debt, and pull yourself away from that journey that you're taking. So it's very important to work with somebody that can kind of keep you from making those knee-jerk reactions. That's why I really encourage you to have somebody that you can call. And I think that was probably, those were the big ones.
Those are your things to avoid. Awesome. Yeah. Alice, I know this can be a little daunting for people. So I was wondering, did you have any really small first steps that people could take? Like, what could they do today to get on board with trying to get themselves these documents that are so important?
Well, since most people have probably done their taxes, you probably have a lot of the financial records that any good attorney would want to see in this case. And gathering personal, it's like creating a little bit of a family tree, really. So you could sit down with yourself, and if you have children, if you don't have children, siblings, aunts, uncles who are alive, parents who are alive, dates of birth, all these become very important, because without the will, and this is something that may motivate you to do it, the state doesn't get your money, but the state has statutes that dictate how your money will be divided up. Then it's going to go to all heirs rather than beneficiaries, and there's a difference between the two. But the important thing is, if you're married, no children, goes to your spouse. If you're married with children, it gets split between the two, and without a will, the children's share goes into protected accounts, which are overseen by the probate court and really difficult to get at. If you're single and no spouse, no children, if you pass away, it goes to your parents. If your parents happen to be on Title 19, they get kicked off because now they have some money. So you're taking care of yourself, you're empowering yourself, and you're creating feelings that will enable you to have discussions with your beneficiary and heirs, etc. It's just start it. If nothing else, simple step, reach out to an estate planning attorney.
Thank you, Alice. I think that's a really good first step. Just reach out to somebody that you feel like you can trust. And if you can't find anybody, reach out to Alice. Jackie.
And if you have a financial planner, reach out to your financial planner and get some names.
That's true. That's true.
To be able, and don't just take one name, get 2 or 3. Ask them. Maybe people have worked with attorneys they like. So.
Yes. Jackie, what about you? What little steps can people take? Something we can do today. So I kind
of jumped ahead a little bit by just suggesting that you utilize an app. If you don't already have a budget, that is really your best place to start, is to start with a budget, and simultaneous with that, again, start putting something a little bit away. Build those little habits that are going to start really helping you to feel successful in attaining your goals. And I just want to encourage everyone, it is never, ever too late. It's never too early or too late to start planning for your retirement. There's always things that we can put in place to help you be successful. And the biggest thing that I see are people who get nervous and they feel that they don't want to join in, or they don't want to come see someone because they're afraid of, just like when we're getting symptoms of being ill with a doctor. We don't want to go to the doctor, right? And until those symptoms are, we can't ignore them any longer. Don't let it get to that point.
Or
Go
until
now.
their wife send them in.
That's right. That's right. Go now. Get it checked out.
Awesome. Well, guys, I see you've put your contact information in the chat. So if anybody does need to have that information, be sure to go ahead and get it. And I really appreciate you guys, Alice and Jackie, coming on to the Ladies Power Lunch Coffee Break today to talk about what we kind of seem to naturally want to shy away from. But when you start talking about it, you realize that it is not as formidable as you might think it is. It's actually something that you need to pay attention to, take care of, so that things can go more smoothly in your future and in the future of the people who will be around to support you now and also after. So thanks, Alice. Thanks, Jackie. All of you who were able to join us on the Zoom, I appreciate it. I hope this was valuable information for you. I'm going to hop off now because I'm going to join another uncomfortable conversation in Liz Detterer's group, and she's going to be talking about having conversations about race and race relations. So if anybody is interested in sharing in that conversation, I invite you. It's a very safe place to come on over to her group, the Conversation Creation Challenge, and you are absolutely welcome. Thanks so much for joining us today, guys. I love you all so much. And I did pull a card for us today, and it's that which is like unto itself is drawn, which is just a reminder for us to be positive, and that positivity attracts more positivity.
Absolutely.
Is that fair?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you.
Have a great day,
everybody.
guys. Love you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.